Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today at this event. I'd like to thank our hosts and our regional representative for SQFI, Sarah Wu, for providing SQF this opportunity to share information about food safety standards like SQF that are GFSI benchmarked and help enhance and advance food safety for the industry. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the leadership team for SQFI. Gigi Vita is the Senior Vice President of Operations at SQF and the Chief Food Safety Assessment Officer. Myself, I'm the Vice President of Business Development, and Leanne Chuboff is the Vice President of Technical Affairs for SQF. In today's presentation, I'll tell you about the relationship between FMI and SQFI. I'll tell you about some of the benefits of SQF certification and details of our certification program standards. I'll review with you the SQF certification process that you'll experience with your certification body, and I'll introduce you to some resources that will be helpful in your journey to achieving food safety certification with SQF. FMI acquired SQF in 2003 to help enhance food safety performance and trust in the supply chain for FMI members. FMI members primarily are food retailers, but also include major brand owners, individual product suppliers, and ingredient suppliers, as well as product service providers. SQF certification helps to improve recall response and reduce brand risk. There's more than 11,000 certifications in 40 countries against the SQF standard. With SQF being a Global Food Safety Initiative recognized standard, it's accessible to suppliers of all sizes across the food industry and along all segments of the supply chain. SQF is a leading GFSI standard with North American retailers and other retailers around the world. The SQF food safety standards are globally accessible for foreign suppliers and provides an end-to-end supply chain solution. Retailers prefer SQF certification because of the consistency it provides in supplier standards. The FSMA addendum also provides regulatory compliance assurance for those products being imported into the U.S. The SQF quality certification assists retailers with managing quality standards as well as food safety standards when it's added on to the SQF food safety certification. The status of certified sites around the world is available in a public directory for a full transparency of certified status of all facilities in the SQF system. SQFI has developed its standards to serve the needs of the individual sectors across the supply chain. Along the top here in blue, you'll see all the standard codes related to manufacturing sectors. Along the bottom, you'll see the codes related to primary production and specialized sectors of aquaculture, packaging, and storage and distribution, as well as the SQF quality code. These codes are each designed to be specific to the food safety system elements and good manufacturing practices relevant to that sector. We believe that having the standards designed in this way helps sites better understand, interpret, and apply the requirements of the code to their individual operations. I mentioned the global footprint of SQFI. We have over 11,000 certified operations globally, with 1,400 of those in Asia Pacific, 550 in Latin America, and over 9,000 in US and Canada. With 36 licensed certification bodies and training centers and nearly 584 registered auditors globally, 70 registered consultants and trainers, SQF has a broad network of professionals available to help you get on the path and achieve successful certification to the SQF codes. SQFI's international presence and our relationship with FMI, the Food Industry Association, keep us involved in international food safety priorities. I can cover some of those here, but there is a long list of issues that are constantly being worked on by various working groups within SQFI, other stakeholders, groups, and within the GFSI. Some major areas of focus include crisis management and control of hazards, climate-related issues, and workforce challenges that are affecting food protection. Keeping abreast of these issues helps us ensure that our standards remain current and that we're constantly evolving with the changing industry. New regulations around allergen labeling, alignment on pathogen risk assessment, changes in regulations with respect to water quality and availability, all of these issues will impact the next version of the SQF food safety standards as we assess how our code currently addresses these issues and how we need to change our standards to remain current with these changing regulations. GFSI is closely involved in the international food safety priorities and also as they relate to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Access to clean, safe food is foundational to sustainable society. Earlier this year, GFSI requested all players in the food industry to continue to do their part to drive the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly as they relate to food safety and food security. For example, reducing food waste, focus on responsible use of resources and protection of water supplies, reducing the environmental impact of their operations with smart energy use and attention to potential contaminants in the environment, and safe production practices to prevent foodborne illness, to protect worker welfare and ensure people can get to work and support their families because they're free from illness that would prevent them from being able to get to work. We hope that everybody on this call has a focus on the Sustainable Development Goals, and you can learn more information about what GFSI is doing in this area by visiting the gfsi.com website. There are many dynamic factors impacting suppliers right now. Between new regulations, the effects of inflation, new labeling rules, and emerging chemical hazards, and issues with workforce readiness, all of these factors are influencing suppliers in how they enter into trade with new customers in different countries and your readiness to continue to be in compliance with your existing customers' requirements. FDA has released its final Rule 204 related to the 2011 FSMA regulation for traceability. This is required data collection for product traceability to facilitate a product recall in the event of a crisis. The food product must be able to have its origin traced within 24 hours with the data that's been collected through the supply chain. FDA has designated this requirement for certain food products determined to be high-risk foods. However, this rule will likely have far-reaching impacts into other food product categories as the industry adapts and adopts a system for data collection that will eventually roll out across the supply chain. SQFI has always required traceability data collection, so those sites who are already certified likely are collecting some types of the necessary data to comply with this rule. If you're not currently certified, adopting a GFSI benchmark program like SQF will help you adopt systems that will ensure you have the capacity to collect the data and share that data with your customers as these new requests come about. If you're looking for information about the FDA Final Rule 204, I encourage you to visit the fmi.org website, where there are many position statements and pieces of information about this rule, as well as the FDA website, where all the guidance documents have been made available. The final rule will be in its published form shortly, and we encourage you to take a look and see how this rule might impact your operation as a supplier of product into the United States. Another regulation that came out of the 2011 FSMA compliance regulations for the FDA is called the Foreign Supplier Verification Program, or what you might hear referred to as FSVP. This rule is related to food product importers into the U.S. who must assess the FSMA compliance of all their foreign suppliers. The importer of record has to take an assessment of their supplier to determine what the necessary activities are that they must conduct to ensure this compliance has been demonstrated. And on-site audits might be required, and if an on-site audit is required, according to the importer's assessment, then the audit must cover the FSMA requirements, and the audit must be conducted by a preventive controls qualified individual, sometimes called a PCQI. If you have a third-party audit body who's conducting a certification or a second-party audit for you, if their auditor has been trained in the FSMA regulations, they're likely considered a PCQI and could conduct an audit that would show compliance with FSMA requirements. The SQF certification program plus the FSMA addendum can help you meet this requirement if your importer of record asks for you to get an on-site assessment to cover FSMA compliance. Ask your CB, or you can contact SQFI and we can help you understand what your requirements might be if you need to demonstrate FSMA compliance for your importer. What are the benefits to business of implementing a food safety certification program? Improving operational systems and control through the implementation of standards helps in a reduction in customer complaints through improved quality and consistency of the product. A reduction in consumer complaints helps reduce associated labor costs of dealing with them and increases available profits that then can be reinvested into the company in terms of improving other processes, innovation, and service experience, and brand awareness. All of these can help increase sales and stakeholder return. SQF provides many benefits to new suppliers into the certification program. We pride ourselves on the SQF training and education that's available through our platform on Zosi and through our training centers and our licensed consultants. So new suppliers can come into the certification process through a readiness assessment with an independent certification body. This helps suppliers become well aware of any gaps that they have in their program and what they need to do to implement correction to be fully compliant and increase their capability to maintain compliance throughout the year. SQF is excited to offer implementation workshops and webinars to go into deeper detail on very important topics around risk management and compliance with the SQF food safety codes. Our online solution center for suppliers provides lots of detailed information in terms of guidance documents, tip sheets, helpful videos, and instructions on how to register in our assessment database. The assessment database provides audit and certification status information for retailers and suppliers who are looking for information about suppliers that they would like to bring into their network or the status of their own sites within their own company-owned facilities. SQFI is very proud to be accepted by many of the major brands and retailers and food service companies globally for their own brands, for their private label products, and for the suppliers who make the ingredients for the products that they sell within their food service operations. This graphic here just illustrates just a few of some of the major brands that we are really proud to be accepted by. Many international food service brands, some international retailers, many large and small food production operations in private label and consumer packaged good products accept the SQF certification program in their facilities and with their supply chain. We're very proud of that, and we think this helps demonstrate the trust that the industry has in SQFI and the value that SQFI can really bring to suppliers of all sizes, whether they're suppliers into food service, into private label, into consumer packaged goods products, ingredient suppliers and processors, and primary production. We're excited about the support that we have from the industry for the food safety standards that we've developed across the supply chain. Retailers prefer suppliers with a GFSI benchmark certification. And why is that? Retailers who require that their suppliers become certified have more reliable logistics, better brand protection, and consistency in risk management. SQF helps to facilitate resilient supply chain and reduce disruptions. It provides a framework for crisis response and recovery, and helps prepare the certified organization to manage operational risks. All these elements of a mature food safety management system help retailers have better confidence and assurance in the compliance of their certified suppliers. Many of the regulatory changes and industry trade impacts that I've described in the previous discussions have driven some important sector growth in food safety certification programs with SQFI. That's why we're really glad that we've developed these food safety standards to be in alignment with different product category producers and industry sectors to help you become in compliance with FDA and other international regulatory requirements around storage and distribution and potential food safety risks related to food packaging materials, regulations around pet food requirements, dietary supplements and meat and dairy processing. All of these industries are seeing major impacts from regulatory expectation changes and customer requirements. The SQF Food Safety Program can help you ensure that you have implemented policies and procedures to stay in compliance with these requirements, and also can help you advance your food safety program. If you're just a small supplier getting started, The SQF Fundamentals Program is a development program, also sometimes referred to as a global markets audit, that can help you implement a starting developmental food safety program to meet the expectations of new customers who are increasing their requirements on local, small, or medium suppliers. I've mentioned the accessibility of the SQF certification program to suppliers of all sizes, and I'd just like to demonstrate here how our program is aligned to help small suppliers who are just getting started, to those who have become a little bit more advanced, and to those that are at the top of their game trying to implement the highest level of standard all the way up through the SQF quality code. I know that Sarah is going to tell you more about the SQF Fundamentals program, so I won't go into too much detail, but I want you to know that it's an excellent starting point for small suppliers and has been accepted by many of the major brands for their smaller suppliers and lower risk suppliers who are getting started with their food safety program. I encourage you to take a look more about the SQF Fundamentals program. The GFSI benchmark level SQF food safety code is an industry adopted and industry recognized globally food safety program. And this is for those sites who are ready for an accredited certification that is required to be a GFSI benchmarked program. And it includes HACCP certification compliance requirements, as well as advanced food safety systems management, and all the GFSI requirements that are expected by sophisticated advanced food processors and product suppliers. The SQF quality code is an excellent option to add on to your SQF food safety system because it helps you demonstrate your commitment to customer requirements and ensuring that you can provide consistent product meeting their quality expectations every day. I mentioned the SQF Fundamentals program, and I wanted to tell you a little bit more about it. If you've been asked by your customer to get a global markets audit, the SQF Fundamentals program will meet that need. SQF Fundamentals is built around the global markets toolkit and guidance criteria. There's two levels, basic and intermediate, and I know that Sarah is going to tell you more information about the SQF Fundamentals program and how it works. But I encourage you to look into it as an option for you if you're ready to get started with implementing a food safety program, but you're not quite ready for the GFSI benchmark food safety code. Take a look at the website at sqfi.com to find out about all of the resources we have available for you as new suppliers and current suppliers who are already certified. There's a wide variety of webinars and training programs available at just a click away, also the directory to our training centers, consultants, and certification bodies. You can find free copies of the standards and checklists, even macro-enabled checklists to help you organize your internal audit if you'd like to use that for your own purposes at your site before your first certification audit. There's so many guidance documents and other materials available to you at the SQF website. We hope you'll visit today. If you're ready to register, go to the SQF Assessment Database login available on our website to get registered today and plan your audit. Thank you so much. Thank you again for joining today. I hope the information that I've provided has been helpful in introducing the SQF program and what it can bring to your industry, your supply.